The big fish in Taupo won't have seen anything like it in months. Last weekend saw one of New Zealand's best-known international iconic endurance races. It brought millions of dollars into the country and hundreds of athletes from all over the world, all intent on becoming an Ironman. The Ironman race consists of 3 parts, all equally daunting: a 3.8 kilometre swim, a 180 kilometre bike race, and then a full 42k marathon. And so you could feel the trepidation in the air at 5:30 in the morning on Saturday as would-be Ironmen trudged through the dark Taupo streets towards the start of the race. A quick bit of history. The race started in 1978 when competitors in a running race in Hawaii were trying to work out who was the most fit, swimmers, runners or other athletes. They proposed combining 3 races to be completed back-to-back, and the Ironman was born. The first Ironman in the world was Gordon Haller in a winning time of 11 hours, 46 minutes and 58 seconds. Fast forward to 1984, after Air New Zealand had told their marketing department to find an event which could increase revenue for the airline. And that was how the first international Ironman franchise happened. New Zealand was the first Ironman event outside the US. 25 years later, the event has moved from Auckland to Taupo. The anniversary makes it special, but any Ironman event is a special one. It's one of the few events in the world where world champions compete on the same course under the same conditions as amateurs. This year saw the largest ever field take part, competing for $100,000 in prize money and a chance to win one of 80 places in the World Championship back in Hawaii. The start of the race is marked by a waka gliding silently across the pre-dawn waters of Lake Taupo. The elite athletes are sent on their way, and 50 minutes later the age groupers follow. They describe it sometimes as a washing machine. Veteran triathlete Brent Foster was first out of the water with younger athletes hot on his tail. He's followed by more than 1,200 others of all shapes and sizes who climb the hill to the transition area to get on their bikes. And it's on the gruelling bike leg of the race, 180 kilometres from Taupo to Reporoa and back twice, that it starts to emerge who's likely to win. As the riders come into town, fans, friends and families brave the showers to cheer their support. The 2 favourites are Cameron Brown, 7 times champion, and Joe Lawn, who's won the race an amazing 6 times in succession. Brown picks off his competitors one by one, but Joe Lawn has a tougher time from a determined Gina Ferguson from Christchurch, who's already won Ironman competitions in Wisconsin and Western Australia. Many athletes are still on the bike course as Cameron Brown lopes down the finish chute looking cool, calm and collected. He's met by his family, a family which he admits puts up with a lot as he trains for the races. In second place is young Aucklander Terenzo Bozzoni, completing his first ever Ironman. And after a tight race, Gina Ferguson comes in ahead of Joe Lawn. Lawn's 6-in-a-row record is finally over. She's enormously popular though with the Ironman supporters, and she comes into rapturous applause before collapsing into the arms of race organiser Jane Patterson. And collapsing is the order of the day. Some athletes give their all, literally arriving in a heap at the finish line before being carted off to the medical tent. Meanwhile, out on the roads of Taupo, hundreds more athletes and thousands more spectators are still at it. The official race charity, the Cystic Fibrosis Trust, has put dozens of messages on boards for athletes on the run route. They're a much-needed boost for athletes at the end of their tether and then some. As the shadows lengthen, crowds continue to mill around the finish chute. If anything, it's busier now than it was when the pros came home, but this time it's families waiting for their loved ones to make it to the finish. Out on the course, it's a case of gritting your teeth and getting on with it. As darkness falls, there are still hundreds to be brought home, where they'll be met with commentator Mike Riley's immortal words, "You are an Iron Man." And for me, these are the real Iron Men, ordinary men and women who've devoted hundreds of hours of training, whose families have put up with early starts, late finishes and long weekends, waiting for a 180k bike ride to end. At the end of the race, they get a medal, a t-shirt and a towel, but that's nothing compared to the fact that they are among the very few people on the planet who really can say they are an Ironman. Allan Nzone Tonight.